Fama. Welcome back to Nine in Dreams. It is Priestess of the African River Eagle, aka Ms.Z on this channel. If you would, please make sure that you like and subscribe. We are about to get into the new year predictions and prophecies for 2025. And this is one of my most important videos of the year out of all of them, because visions are, what I consider what spirit gives me. Instead of me looking into things, this is what spirit brings me, because I do not use cards or any other instruments for these. This is directly what spirit has shown me. And I do not ask for anyone to believe me. I always try to give receipts and give proof of what I show you in a year. So, bring this camera a little bit. So, if you would like to check out last year's predictions and the receipts of them coming to pass, I'll probably have a link down below because I posted some on YouTube, but there are many receipts that I post on Instagram, and you guys help me with that every year, so I really, really appreciate you. So if nothing else, if this is your first time watching me, please take heed to the warnings, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I just want you to believe me without evidence. So make sure that you verify things yourself as well too. And I think that's it for announcements that I want to make. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So this year is going to be the year of 9, all right? So I'm going to go over the numerology first, and then I'm going to jump straight into the visions, and we got a lot of them. All right, so the year of 9. The year of 9 represents, well, it can represent beginnings too, because it's like the completion of something. It's the completion of a cycle. So a lot of you this year will get projects done, or you'll be kind of like speeding to the finish line when it comes to projects. Things that you've been working on for a long time will come to completion in 2025. But typically it's going to be something that you've kind of been working on or working through for years and years and years. You will see that breakthrough in 2025. 9 months also represents like 9 months carrying a child. And so that has meaning too, but let me go ahead and address the children that will be born this year. Children that will be born this year will likely be old souls, because, it's about taking a long time to cross over into this realm again. So a child that's born this year, and every child is meant to be here. We're all meant to be here if we came here. But nonetheless, these are children that I feel like are really meant to be here, because again, they might have been wandering in the spirit realm for a long time, but that's another story for another day. So if you have a child this year, you expect for them to act a little bit old, because they're probably going to be old souls. Another thing I want to talk about with year 9 is also ascension. Now, a lot of people don't like when I'm straightforward, but I'm going to be straightforward, okay? So year 9 can also represent death. So if you have loved ones who have been struggling with sickness for a long time, this year will be a great year. If you haven't done prayer work, this year is a great year to start, okay? And you're going to pray for the ending of suffering and to bring solution, okay? Because it can either go one way or the other. So it can go in a way of where it's like, okay, I've been struggling for a long time. Now it's time for ascension. And ascension can be death, or it can be the end of something that you're going through, the end of suffering. So you can pray for the end of suffering, and it can bring about a solution to a problem, all right? If you've been going through something for a long time, this year you can find that breakthrough. And this is getting in my eyes. Really quickly, if you are struggling in a relationship, if you've been struggling for a year, a lot of years, this could be, again, the ending of that cycle, or it can be the beginning of something beautiful if we pray for the ending of that, all right? So, you might see just as many divorces this year as you see marriages, because it's going to be for people this year. Not everybody, but a lot of people are going to fall in line with the numerology of the year, where they have been, been together for a very, very long time. And just finally, they get that breakthrough of getting married, or going to the next level, or having a child. Those who have been waiting for a long time, things that you have been working on or have been waiting on for a long time, they finally come to completion in year 9. All right. So let's go ahead and go over the new year prophecies and predictions. All right. And I'll try. I don't know if I'm gonna timestamp it, guys, but I will try. All right. So let's get into it. Make sure that you watch this video all the way through. Don't cut in between, because certain prophecies might apply to you, and certain predictions might apply to you. So for the first one, Spirit showed me There was a car that crashed into a gas tank. I also seen in that same vision kids playing with like a lighter, I believe, and it caught fire. And Spirit confirmed that a lot of things will catch fire this year. All right, so we're going to see a lot of fires. Spirit is cautioning us, caution your children, teach them, the dangers of fire. And also, if they have to handle fire, teach them how to handle it so it doesn't, get out of control. Give them instruction on what to do if it does. This is a year to know how to handle fire. The spirit of fire will be coming through. All right. All right. Moving forward, the next vision. Okay. So this is interesting. All right. So a girl was getting bullied at school. And she got physically harmed in some type of way. But the next day, that child got hurt, okay? Spirit is wanting to warn you guys that children are different this year. Not just this year, they've been kind of different because we have a lot of spiritual parents at this point. And so you're not going to get away with bullying somebody, especially in a school dynamic where they can go home and tell their spiritual parents, hey, this child is bullying me. And then you see your child is sick or something going on with your child is injured or something like that. Start to think, I hate to say it, but there are a lot of spiritual people out there and, they don't care if it's a child or not. They're sending reversal energy even for children. So, and then also you have to think about this. Some children have guardians. So you cannot mess with a child and think that it's not going to come back on you. Spirits are moving this year. Guardians are moving around this year. So if your child inflicts harm on somebody, it can come back to that child. So make sure that you're educating your children on bullying and letting them know, hey, don't bully folks. Don't try the quiet one in the corner. Don't do that because, again, you could find your child being sick or something happening to your child and it just doesn't make sense as to why things or bad luck is following your child, and it can be from another child that they injured or bullied. I hate to put it like that, but that's just the way Spirit gave it to me. So it's not about personal feelings, all right? Let's see. Again, I feel like I've said this in a previous vision, but, families living together will be really prevalent this year. In the vision, Spirit showed me becoming homeless, all right? Spirit showed me that reality and walking around trying to get somewhere. And so that basically what that means is there's going to be a lot more, and there's already a lot of homeless people out there. Or people who are, faced with homelessness due to the cost of housing. So this year, it might be a good idea to not only buy homes, but also a need to come together, all right? Because families living together due to circumstances, you're going to see that. And if it end up happening that way for you, then it just has to be. Do not feel guilty about that if you have to live with someone in order to avoid homelessness, all right? Don't feel bad for that. If someone's allowing you to stay with them to get back on your feet and the Great Mother is flying overhead, if Great Mother is saying, if there's a way or there's a will where you can get somewhere to get back on your feet, come out of your ego, all right? Because at this point, we are living in, times where it's super expensive to even have a studio apartment. All right, so let's move forward. Okay, so, I always say this every year because some people will be like, well, you're for the women, and I'm not for the women, I'm not for the men. And this year, I think last year I had a message about women. And now I have a message about the men, all right? And Spirit says, do not ignore men. So do not ignore their feelings this year. Men, for yourself, if you need to get therapy or if you feel like you need extra help, get it, because Spirit is really like pointing that out, along with people who take care of children with special needs, or if you are some type of caretaker or you have kind of had to take on that role, because Spirit sees a lot of people going through depression, which can lead to, unaliving, yourself due to the stress when we have those type of responsibilities. So those were two major things that Spirit brought to me. People who have to take care of people, and these folks are often not acknowledged, especially parents who have to take care of children with special needs, or just parents with special needs, people with special needs. You know, those people are not often acknowledged. So Spirit is acknowledging you this year. If you need a break, if you need to, you know, get a therapist, do so, you know, because, and for, you know, acknowledge those people in your family that have to take care of others, you know, because a lot of times most of their life is consumed by taking care of someone with extra needs. And we need people like that in the world who are willing to do that, rather it be parents or, you know, an extended family member. And also for men as well too. Don't ignore men, because men tend to cover up their emotions and their feelings because they don't feel comfortable enough to express themselves. So this is not a men versus woman type of thing. I don't know why people think I'm caught up in that. I'm not. If Spirit give me a message about men, I'm gonna give it to you. If Spirit give me a message about women, I'm gonna give it to you. All right. So let's move on. Now I don't know how this is going to happen. 2025, robots will start to teach classes. All right. Spirit also speaks about they're tired of waiting. I'm assuming this is like the higher ups. They're tired of waiting. People will have to find another job. So however it folds this year, you might see a lot more AI technology. And that's kind of already been in the works where, you know, AI and, you know, new technology is kind of put in place to teach our children. So just be aware of that. You know, you might have to step in and like get them outside and, you know, give them, you know, regular teaching as well to balance that out, because Spirit is putting that out there like it's a warning. Also, you know, with people having to find other jobs. So this feels like there has been companies that have been kind of waiting, you know, to kind of push humans out the way and more so get the robots in. So just be aware of that. A lot of jobs could be replaced this year with AI technology, and that's going to start this year. All right. Please watch your children, especially high school children, going to parties or staying out, because there's a lot of things going on that we don't see or know about. Because what I was seeing, I don't want to get too explicit with the details. It felt, I don't know if this was like a party or just like, you know, how people just gather, but everybody had a mask on. It was kind of like an orgy party. I'm not saying that out loud. And so one of the girls that I was seeing was in high school, okay? But she had a mask on, so, you know, she couldn't be identified. But I feel like this will be exposed this year, certain types of underground parties and things like that, you know, where people might be wearing masks or something to that effect. Might be something to that nature. That's what I was saying. I think this is just one of those things that it might be a warning, but it also might be something that might be exposed this year, because I'm seeing, like I said, somebody had a mask on and they were in high school and they weren't supposed to be there. But they were at like one of like what we call the sex parties and things like that. So make sure that you watch your children and where they're going. There are a lot of visions surrounding children this year. Okay, so Spirit showed me, it was a girl, okay? It could be a boy, you know, I don't know how this is going to fold, but it was a girl that I saw in the vision. And I believe she had special needs, or it could be someone who might just be hyperactive. But they were by a train, and Spirit warns, do not play by trains. This is a very specific vision. So, you know, make sure that you watch your children. Don't have your children by trains this year, or just be very cautious when you see someone by a train, because, you know, this is like a warning, a very specific vision. So I'm going to move forward. I don't know if this is going to come like soon or if it's going to come further off. There was a huge tornado that will come. It's a huge tornado that will come and hit houses. Something small that turns into something big. So it's going to be something that people don't expect. I didn't get many weather visions this year, but that was one that did come in. And if I get more weather visions throughout the year, I will post it on my Instagram. But Spirit showed me a huge tornado that actually took like some doors off of the house, and the house started moving around, and you know, it was almost like we're gonna die. So, but we survived. So it's like one of those things. So when weather comes, you want to make sure that you know how to protect yourself by any means, okay? Because there will be something that comes. I don't know if it's going to be what's coming now, but it's going to be a huge tornado that will come and like tear up some houses. All right. And going back to that other vision, because I think I separated this vision with the girl at the crossroads. This is for all children. Though that was a very specific message, this is for all children. Keep your children away from the crossroads. So this is a spiritual message. It's up to you whether you take it or not, but keep your children away from like crossroads or like spiritual spots in that nature, because you have, you know, I'm gonna say malevolent spirits working. So if your child is near like a railroad track, that's also like a crossroad, meeting point for spirits. So this is why, you know, accidents can happen in that area. It could also be for adults too, but I was more so seeing children. So be careful putting them in certain spaces, crossroads, dark alleys, things like that. There will be migration due to water. So people sitting in areas that, you know, they've been there for a long time. It's like at this point, some people are going to just go ahead and make a move because too much water is going to come in this year. Interestingly enough, we have a love message this year. So Spirit talks about not being wrapped up in emotions this year, but we also need to be aware of who we call friends, okay? Because someone was, you know, getting cheated on, and it was the friend linking up with the person's partner. So be mindful of your friends, be mindful of who you have around your partner this year, okay? Especially if it's somebody new that you don't really know like that. Next vision. There were some girls that went missing from a concert. Spirit says be mindful when going to places. So this could deal with trafficking. But we don't. I don't know if I can say that online. But yes, be careful going to concerts. Be careful allowing, you know, young teenagers and things like that to go to concerts by themselves. Just be cautious. Make sure that they are equipped with like mace and all those things, because they were trying to get taken. So we might see something like that pop up this year. So you want to be cautious in your family, in your regard. Okay, let's move forward. All right. So I saw a symbol of war. It was a powerful family that was offended, okay? So I don't know what this is in regards to, but this might not be like a really global type of vision. It might be something to do with the U.S., but something that we did, like as a country, offended somebody else, and so they're trying to get back at us in some type of way. It's some type of powerful family. I don't know if it's yes, they look foreign. So I did write that. They were foreign. Offended by what we did. So something that we did offended them. So there might be some type of, hopefully not, but there was a symbol of war. And so war can be literal war. Sometimes it can be restriction on, you know, goods and things like that. So something like that might pop up this year. This is interesting, but I'll go ahead and give this vision too. A lot of fake psychics will be exposed this year. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that one. I said a little more, but I'm gonna leave it at that. But yes, a lot of, you know, certain things will just be exposed, you know, and it could be some of your favorites. All right, moving on. Buying land is important. Spirit says big weddings we gather, but we should gather for other things. So it's kind of like, you know, Spirit wants us to realign our focus on what's important. Like we come together for, you know, weddings and things, but do we come together for what we need and you know, getting money together for things that we need. This is another year of spiritual people versus regular people. So you'll see that again. Let's see. Trees getting sick. I seen something to that regards, and I don't really remember because I had so many visions, but that was a note that I made. Trees getting sick. I also saw a vision. This is a specific vision. I feel like something will be exposed as it pertains to again, watch your children. Watch your children, because I was seeing a mother and her boyfriend, and her boyfriend was sleeping with the daughter. So, you know, something might come out like that this year, but this is also like a warning to watch your children, because even if the prophecy comes to pass, it's about letting you know that things like this go on, okay? Because I wouldn't see it in a New Year vision if it was just one, you know, situation. We have to watch out for our children. Spirit says, watch out for your children playing in submit. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Like a ground that isn't like fully hardened. Spirit says, stay out of mud, ice. So this is collectively, okay? Because even though it showed me a child, it could be any of us. Like, try to stay out of mud and ice, because Spirit talks about, you know, getting caught up in that. This is one of the bigger visions of the year, okay? I don't know how this is going to fold, so I'll try to give it as best as possible, okay? So there were checks owed to enslaved people that were found, okay? So this could be, I'm calling them checks, but I don't know if we recall them that. It's something that's owed to enslaved people, and I would say their descendants as well, okay? So most people would say this is like reparations, all right? But I'm careful using that word, but you know, I guess is what that would be called. And also the person was very lazy to want to pay this back. Yes, old money that belongs to slavery. And so, you know, I don't know if this is the president, I don't know who it is, but there's somebody that's very lazy to give this money back. But we should see something. I don't know, and Spirit kind of confirmed to me that it wouldn't be something that's probably going to be paid out in 2025, but something may come up about it, something like official that would be like, okay, you know, this is due, you know, or this is owed to enslaved people, or, you know, those who are descendants, okay? So something should come up about that this year. Let's see what else came up. Now we're almost wrapping up, guys. I know you're like, please come on. All right. The conditions of prison are bad. Someone keeps them trapped. Water comes in and they get sick. And then Spirit also showed me that some people get in prison because they can't feed their family. So, police watching, and this is, the vision keeps going, all right? Police watching Mexicans and wanting to, let's see, deportation, waiting to do this operation. Let me see. Hold on one second. So this vision takes like two parts. There's a part of it that like indigenous people will be locked up this year, or something to that effect. You might see more of that going on this year. And it will be hard for them to, I don't know if it's hard for them to get out or something like that, but Spirit brings attention to the conditions of prison being very bad, okay? But I don't know what this is relating to. And like I said, I don't have personal energy into this. Some people will be like, well, they deserve it. A lot of people that are going to get locked up is not people who deserve it. You know, it's just because of the circumstance, or it might be a minor offense. but they get in a situation where it's hard for them to get out, or the court makes it hard for them to get out. It could be a minor offense. It could be just crossing the border. And you could say, well, you know, they should have known better. And maybe they should have. But at the end of the day, you know, Spirit is saying this because for a reason. People have to realize Spirit is bigger than what we think it is. You know, our right and our wrong is not right and wrong in nature. Just like, you know, the lion got to eat, you know, in nature. Rather, we feel like it's right or wrong. So we have to get out of our own mind with certain things. There might be some people that deserve to be there, but there's going to be a lot of people that get there and can't get out, or it's going to be made very hard for them to get out this year. So people who cross the border, you need to be very careful if you're watching this. Especially illegally, you know, because something about prison and just being there is going to be very hard. Back again with children. Children are so big this year. I see a lot of children running away from home this year. So that's one thing. Learning must be fun. So that's one thing that Spirit wants to talk about. This is, I guess there are two separate visions, but Spirit talks about learning needs to be fun again. Let's see. And the trees have another message again. So they came back, and I'm at pretty much my end right now. Trees come back and say there used to be so many trees. They cut down the mother trees and plant kid trees. So like what I said earlier, you know, one, don't cut down the mother trees, and try not to cut down the old trees, because the spirits are getting mad. And so what's going to happen to us, you know, certain sicknesses can come to us and things like that, and we don't know why, because we're cutting down precious trees. So this is a year that, hey, be careful how you treat a tree. Okay. Let's see. This is one that Spirit really, you know, really got to me about. Bank robbery. Let's see. You also would have people, you know, holding up stores, like sticking up a store, is what they call it, for money to pay debts. Great mother cries. Her children are lost. They didn't want to hurt anybody. So if we see situations this year where, you know, and it doesn't make it right, but you might see a lot more situations where there's crime done in order to receive money. There's stealing done, you know, in order to get things, because Spirit says we're lost. Things are just getting too unaffordable. Like, how can we get mad at somebody that's just trying to feed their family or trying to stay afloat? And yes, even jobs sometimes aren't enough. You could have the best job out there, and sometimes it's just not enough to feed your family or to keep a roof over your head, you know, even though that might be the dynamic with the world that we live in. So this year, like I said, it's a lot more homelessness, and there's a lot more of, you know, robberies and crimes to get money to pay off debts. Okay. So I think that's pretty much it. If I have any other visions, I will post them on Instagram. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you like this video. I will be posting the reading portion of this a little bit later. Peace.